The grid for race 2, Michael Oliver once again on pole position. Brilliant pace in qualifying earlier on, almost half a second faster than David Jenkins, who once again starts alongside him. Martin Gibson and Tom O'Rourke on row 2 this time. Stephen Powell and John Bowler up there on row 3. Good effort by Neil Yates to qualify on row 4. Ryan Smith back on the 4th row in 8th position. Now, we heard earlier from Pointy, Ryan Smith's been struggling a bit recently. He told us at Thruxton he's been struggling with kidney stones, unfortunately, so maybe they've been affecting him again. We hope Ryan's all right. Row 5 is Ricky Collett and Stuart Oliver in the Volvo, completing the top 10. Watch for those two coming through once again. The 6th row, number 11, David Smith, will start alongside Adam Bint. We hope David's there because, of course, his son Nathan was out in his truck and broke down in the International Truck GP race. So hopefully David's been able to repair, starting alongside Adam Bint in the number 5 Mercedes. Row 7, Simon Cole heads up Division 2 with Sami Ojanen alongside. Then we've got Archie Handy alongside Jake Evans. You can see Jake's got the quicker qualifying time, but as a novice, he has to start from the back along with Bradley Harvey, Callum Eason and Graham Poole. Hopefully, John Powell will start from the pit lane. Hopefully, we'll see him out this time. Thanks again for all your comments coming in. Yes, Cameron Day, we didn't get to answer his question during the last race. What do the coloured numbers on the side mean? That means the different classes in Brickcar. Thanks to Brickcar, we'll see them back out soon. They're next out at Snetterton next month. Quick hello to Leanne Price watching down in Kent. Hi to 2-up ADV rider Steve Crompton. Sally Branson we mentioned as well. Bad luck Brian and Jazz, she says. The trucks are off and rolling. Big thanks to all our sponsors once again. British Truck Racing Championship, Freuhauf Trailers, Total Care, Workshop Equipment, Napa Auto Parts, Valvoline Oils, Truck and Driver Magazine, GT Tyres, Transport Monitoring Solutions, Sylvie Fleet Management, BWOC for biofuels, MV Commercial, Neil Yates Recovery and Alco, MV Commercial and LTS Global Solutions. So the pack is headed round. Good to see Tom O'Rourke is back out there in the International Navistar that broke down in race 1. Is David Smith there? Yes, he is. That's good to see. His truck is repaired. John Bowler's there. Graham Poole at the back. Simon Cole heading up Division 2. As we said, Jake Evans, very quick driver, but as a novice graded driver, he has to start with the other novices at the back. Bradley Harvey, Callum Eason and Graham Poole are all novice graded drivers. Simon Cole isn't. Sami Ojanen, experience from Scandinavia. Archie Handy raced last season along with his father. In the afternoon sunshine here at Donington Park, the GT Tyres DAF leading them round this time. The Napa Auto Parts sponsorship on there as well. Shame we haven't got the Napa truck of Paul Rivette out there this season. Multiple Renault Clio champion. Usually the quickest in Division 2 last season, but a bit of bad luck with an injury and then engine problems prevented his title challenge and allowed John Powell to head home Simon Cole for the title. Will John join us from the pit lane this time? We'll try and get a glimpse of if he's there as we head past. Watch for Ryan Smith and Stuart Oliver. Can they come through from 8th and 10th on the grid, or is it going to be a double for Michael Oliver? He has really come of age this season. He's had so much bad luck. He's been caught up in crashes on many occasions over the last couple of seasons. He had a shunt at Thruxton coming out of Allard. He tangled with Stephen Powell and wrecked the front of his truck. The team have rebuilt the MAN. The identical machine there lined up behind him is Martin Gibson. Stephen Powell just ahead of his teammate Neil Yates, who's looked quick so far this weekend. Had that ding-dong battle with Ricky Collett in the first race. Or can David Jenkins, the former champion, finally get his first win of 2025? It is race 2 of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Convoy in the Park. Oh, Tom O'Rourke's pulling over. His problem's returned. He's not going to take the start. What a shame for the Scotsman. So the pace truck pulls into pit lane. Look at David Jenkins leaning on Michael Oliver there as they come up to the red lights. Get off, says Michael Oliver. They move across, the red lights go out pretty late, and we are underway. Ryan Smith immediately cutting across to the inside. David Jenkins has got the edge on Michael Oliver down into the first corner at Redgate. Martin Gibson trying to get up the inside. The two Team Oliver racing trucks leaning on each other there, but it is David Jenkins who has got the lead, I think for the first time this season. He's out in front as they head into the Craner curves. The two Team Oliver trucks side by side. That's the point where Stuart Oliver had a big smash in his Volvo a couple of years ago. Ryan Smith on the grass there on the inside. There's another truck going almost off to the inside. That was Ricky Collett, I think, as they start to sort themselves out around this first lap. That's brave, going two abreast down the Craner curves. John Bowler ahead of Stuart Oliver there, but it is David Jenkins, the man from Stafford, who leads the way in the Digraph LKQ Morris Lubricants MAN-TGX. Michael Oliver in second. Similar machine of Martin Gibson is third. Stephen Powell's got away well up into fourth position, chased by flying Ryan Smith, who's up to fifth. He's made another good start from eighth on the grid. He carved straight across, Michael Schumacher style, to the inside off the grid. And now he's trying to do the same down the straight there to Stephen Powell. John Bowler behind them, then Stuart Oliver, Neil Yates, David Smith, Ricky Collett, and behind them Adam Bint. To the chicane for the first time. Ricky Collett up the inside on David Smith. I think David's going to have to give way there. No, he hasn't given way. What am I saying? David Smith doesn't give way to anybody. Saw that at Brands Hatch earlier this season. He's held the place. Adam Bint's up there as well. He's got ahead of Collett. Tom O'Rourke, sadly, is in the pit lane. His problems from race one returning. That's a great shame for the Scotsman, who's been having a good season up to now. They make their way into the Craner curves for the second time against the backdrop of smoke from the drifting arena. I'm sure these trucks could do far more spectacular drifts if prompted to. They don't want to waste their GT tyres, though. The man for going sideways in a race truck back in the 80s and early 90s was the Swede Kurt Göransson in his Volvos in the European Championship. He worked in the logging industry in Sweden, used to have to drive large heavy logging trucks on icy roads. That's how he learnt to drive sideways. Still a great hero of truck racing fans everywhere, Kurt. It'd be nice if we could one day have a reunion of all the old past masters of the European Championship, the likes of Kurt Göransson, Hans van der Marwitz, Richard Walker, Gunther Spindler and all the others. Perhaps someday. It's no time for nostalgia. We've got a very busy race going on here. Stuart Oliver closing on John Bowler. Ryan Smith on the tail of Stephen Powell. He's desperate for a change of fortune. He's been the bad luck man of this year with mechanic control. Had a small fire on that truck at Pembrey. Ryan Smith tries to move past him there. It's David Jenkins from Oliver, Gibson, then Powell, Smith, Bowler. Stuart Oliver, Neil Yates in 8th place. He's running well in the number 33. David Smith and Adam Bint round out the top 10. What's happening in Division 2? It looks like Evans has made his way through to the front already. Simon Cole was leading, but he's lost 3 places on that last lap, Simon Cole, so he's had a moment somewhere. We look back towards the Division 2 runners. There's a cloud of smoke there coming off, I think that's Bradley Harvey in 2nd place in Division 2, and he's got Sami Ojanen on his tail. We'll keep an eye on that. Is that engine smoke from Bradley Harvey? There's something amiss there, certainly. Or is it from his left front wheel? Might be the water-cooled brakes. No, Bradley Harvey, I think, has got a problem there. And Sami Ojanen, he's trying to get past him. We've been here before in race 1. Yeah, there's something amiss, definitely, with Bradley Harvey's DAF. And Ojanen's going to get through. As we said earlier, we hope that truck is not dropping any fluid. Simon Cole has been off. You can see there's a bit of damage to the front of his truck. The bumper's hanging off. Behind him, Callum Eason. Both his parents have raced trucks in the past, Wayne and Joanne. Callum Eason, I think, is in Andrew Fulcher's old truck, the old Lenham storage machine. Bradley Harvey, I think, will be heading for the pits, which will put a dent in his title chances in Division 2. Simon Cole, the favourite for the title, but it's Jake Evans who has led the going so far this season until Thruxton, when he failed to race. His engine sadly went bang in practice. He's had to put a new engine in that MAN. There's Callum Eason ahead of Archie Handy, and here are the Division 1 leaders. David Jenkins still up front, and he and Michael Oliver have gone clear. Martin Gibson in 3rd. Then Stephen Powell. Ryan Smith in 5th place. Been a slightly subdued performance from Ryan Smith in this race. Maybe he is feeling a bit under the weather still. Normally he's dominant at Donington. Only exception really being Convoy in the Park when he had the Mercedes Actros about 2 or 3 seasons ago when his turbo blew and the machine caught fire, putting him out for the rest of the weekend. Stuart Oliver with a slightly subdued run as well, so 1 or 2 of the lesser lights being given a chance to shine here perhaps. Number 12 has been given the black and white flag. That's Michael Oliver, a warning for track limits, and off goes Adam Bint into the gravel at Coppice. That's the Mercedes. His first season in Division 1 for the former Division 2 champion, raced his Volvo Whites for many years. Mercedes did have a win at Pembrey earlier this year. Across the line they go. David Jenkins, 0.8 of a second ahead of Oliver. Martin Gibson closing up slightly again now. Jenkins a little bit sideways there through Redgate. I'm wondering if Bradley Harvey has dropped a bit of fluid there, possibly. They were sliding about a little there. Incident involving trucks 96 and 41 noted, says the timing screen. Ah, so Simon Cole must have had a collision with Bradley Harvey out of our view, so that's what happened to Simon. Saw he had a bit of damage. Bradley Harvey, is he still going? Yes, he is. Up towards McLean's they go. Just keeping it steady through there. It's the highest point of the circuit. Ryan Smith starting to attack Stephen Powell again now. Steve Powell, and former Division 2 champion. I remember the day he scored his first Division 1 victory at Thruxton. He and his team celebrated like they just won the championship. Great entertainer is Stephen, but he's under attack here. Here comes Ryan Smith. No, you don't, says Steve Powell. Moves across on him. Powell, who lives within an exhaust roar of Brands Hatch, but he could lose out here. Smith's got the inside line. He's doubled back again. That's good driving by Ryan Smith, and he's through into 4th place. The Daimler freight lineup. Now he's going to try and move up and have a go at Martin Gibson, who in turn is attacking his teammates, Michael Oliver, for 2nd place. This is allowing David Jenkins to escape slightly. The lead gap increased by nearly a second on that last lap. Martin Gibson wants his first win of his comeback season after a couple of years racing elsewhere. The man who does a lot of testing and development work for GT tyres at various proving grounds around the UK. Has raced cars in the likes of the Fun Cup Endurance Series. Through towards Starkey's Bridge. John Bowler keeping pace with this lot as well in 6th, ahead of Stuart Oliver still. Stuart Oliver just seemingly not on the pace this weekend. So David Jenkins, is he finally going to break his duck for 2025? It's looking good at the moment for the MAN. His father Tony Jenkins, an ex-racer as well. I believe it was him who used to race the American Mack truck in the British Championship. Oh, similar manoeuvre here for Ryan Smith as he did to Powell a lap ago. Bit of contact this time. Martin Gibson not giving way. Smith forces the issue. He's out onto the grass and Stephen Powell says, OK, I'll pass both of you. Oh, that was cheeky by Stephen Powell. Ryan Smith did exactly the same manoeuvre there as he did to Steve a lap ago on Martin Gibson. And Stephen Powell saw the gap coming off the chicane, got his boot down, and off he went and up into what is now 3rd place. Now Gibson's under fire from John Bowler. He's getting involved in this as well. David Jenkins watching all this in the mirror and metaphorically rubbing his hands together, thinking, well, if you're all going to scrap with each other, I'll escape. Oh, that was close. John Bowler nearly pushed Martin Gibson off. Goodness me. Well, they were going to go flying off onto the grass there. Bowler backs out, thinks better of it. There's Stuart Oliver up behind them as well. He won't be too happy with that bit of contact involving one of his team's trucks, I don't think. Up the hill once again towards McLean's. It's still Jenkins from Michael Oliver. All the action is behind them. Stephen Powell 3rd, Ryan Smith 4th. This is the fight for 5th, and a real battle it is as well. Martin Gibson down to 5th place, John Bowler in behind him, then Stuart Oliver, and Neil Yates, give him some credit, is keeping pace with this lot as well. A lot of improvement. He had a fairly fraught first couple of attempts at truck racing, including that big crash at Thruxton, but he's matured this season, Neil Yates. John Bowler's going to have a go at Martin Gibson. He won't get alongside there. It's the main overtaking opportunity under braking for the chicane. Stuart Oliver's going to have a go at John Bowler now. There's contact between those two, I think, there. Yates behind them. Stuart Oliver. John Bowler's not giving way to him, look. Leans him towards the grass there. He's going to have to back out into Redgate. And here comes Neil Yates, having a go at the 10-time champion. Oh, he's hit the back of him! And they tangle up. Off goes Yates. Round goes Oliver. Oh, curse of the commentator for Neil Yates there. Sorry, Neil. And Stuart Oliver left facing the wrong way. Look out, Ricky Collins. Just gets past on the outside. Oliver's going again. There's bits of gravel and debris everywhere. But that's not going to cause anybody a puncture. Neil Yates, he's lost his bump up. He's taken a trip through the gravel, but he's still going. Jenkins still leads with 4 minutes of this race to go for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Donington. Michael Oliver up there in second, the winner of race 1. Stephen Powell on for a podium in third if he can hold off Ryan Smith. It's all looking good for Jenkins here. The dust kicked up there by Stephen Powell on the inside of Coppice. Now, Ryan Smith thinking, I've passed you once into this chicane, Stephen Powell. I'm going to do it again. That'll be next time around. He's not close enough this time. Gibson 5th. 6th is John Bowler. It's David Smith in 7th place, no relation to Ryan. And coming up to lap Graham Poole in the Division 2, number treble 3 MAN. He keeps out of the way for the leader at Redgate. Now, who's in 8th place now? There's Neil Yates still battling on. I think it's Stuart Oliver in 8th. Yes, no, it is Neil Yates. He's got back ahead of Stuart Oliver as a result of that tangle. So if it stays like this, Neil, if the results leaves them where they are, will have pole position for race 4. We've lost Adam Bint, I can tell you further back. He has dropped out. Let's see where he's gone. So the Mercedes out of the race. David Jenkins still leads. Ryan Smith has just set the fastest lap of the race, so he could see a late attack from the reigning champion. Looking for title number 10 in a row this year. Stuart Oliver has won 10, but not consecutively, because he took a year out to win the European Championship. Last British driver to do so, I believe. Sadly, the European Series doesn't come to the UK anymore. Last few years, the Hungarian Norbert Kiss has been the top man in Europe. Is Ryan Smith close enough this time to attack for the podium? No, he's not. The battle is on for 6th position, though. I think David Smith has got through for 6th there. A bit of bodywork has come off the front of Ryan Smith. Oh, John Bowler's slowing down. In the background there, the 14 trucker slow. I think he might have a puncture. So we'll pick up on that in a moment. What's happened to John Bowler? Well, no, the tyre is up, but he's pulling over. So Bowler out of the race. This could allow Ricky Collett into the top 8, so he could get pole position for race 4 now, because Yates is up to 7th. Where's Stuart Oliver? He's down to 9th. So a bit of a bruising encounter, to say the least, for the British Truck Racing Championship in race 2. They've got 3 more races to come tomorrow. And a couple more races to come tomorrow for the International Truck Grand Prix. We've got another race for them at the end of the programme today as well. There goes Michael Oliver, still second. He's 2.25 seconds down on David Jenkins now. It certainly looks as though David's going to get his first win of the season, and off goes Sammy Oyanen at the chicane, that is. So, problems in Division 2 as well. The Finn in the Mad Croc Sisu has a spin, gets it going again. Who's leading Division 2? We'll look back. Oh, and more problems. Who's that going off at Redgate now? Great cloud of dust. I look away for 1 second on the timing screen and somebody else goes flying off. The red flag has been thrown, I can tell you. I can't see who it is. It's Simon Cole. Disappeared into the dust cloud there. The red flag has gone out, I can tell you. We're on the last lap anyway. There are only 39 seconds left. And yes, it'll be effectively checkered and red because the leaders have just come across the line. So David Jenkins will win it. And that will be result declared. I imagine the red flag came out because of John Bowler's truck pulled over at the side of the track there. or maybe it was debris from Sami Ojanen going off at the chicane. There was so much going on there towards the end of the race. There's debris everywhere at Redgate. So what does that mean then? There's John Bowler out of the race. I was trying to check who was leading Division 2 because we haven't been able to focus on Division 2 really during that one. It was Jake Evans, I can tell you. He was way ahead of everybody else. Simon Cole was second. I think he will take second despite that spin at Redgate because the red flag came out just as he spun off. Right, we'll try and declare that result in a second. I can tell you that Michael Oliver has got a penalty as well. 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. There's the reason, I think, for the red flag. We've got tyre stacks on the track after Sami Ojanen ploughed through the chicane instead of round it. Dear, oh dear. What a chaotic end to that race. Bit wild, says Mark Tucker in our comments. Should that be Mark Trucker, as Alessandro says. Hi to Jake Hassel, Dude, Chris Pritchard, Wendy Howell supporting John Bowler in that one. Sadly, John failing to finish. Hi to Paul Sherlicker. That's the name I remember from my short oval commentary days. He's supporting Ian Bamber in our next race. More on that in a moment because we've got the provisional results. David Jenkins at last takes his first win of 2025. Stephen Powell provisionally in second, Ryan Smith in third. David Jenkins does not win by a lap there because the result will be reset back to the end of lap 8. Powell second, Smith third. Michael Oliver penalised to fourth. He got a track limits penalty, and John Bowler will not be classified because he pulled over. We'll wait and confirm on that. So I think it'll be Martin Gibson fifth, ahead of David Smith, Neil Yates, and potentially Ricky Collett in 8th, and that will give him pole position for race 4. Stuart Oliver 9th, and then Jake Evans wins Division 2 ahead of, well, I'm not so sure, because Sami Ojanen went off there, so he might get second place in retrospect ahead of Simon Cole and Bradley Harvey, but the results are a little bit up in the air at the moment because of that red flag, it has to be said. I mentioned Paul. Anyway, we'll go back to our comments in a moment. We'll have a try and make a bit of sense of that chaotic end to that race. We saw Ryan Smith flying about on the grass there as he battled for a podium place with Stephen Powell. This was the moment between John Bowler and Martin Gibson that nearly ended in disaster at the Craner curves. Just about managed to get apart there. John Bowler then got leaned on by Stuart Oliver. John Bowler was attacked from every side in that race. He eventually dropped out. I don't know what the problem was, but it might be a legacy of contact. And then Stuart Oliver getting spun aside with contact with Neil Yates. Bits of truck everywhere. Neil Yates then ploughed off again at the chicane. Stephen Powell getting sideways as the chicane as well, as John Bowler was pulling over in the background. And this was a later moment for Simon Cole as he got past Bradley Harvey and then promptly threw it into the gravel. Dear, oh dear. Fairly chaotic affair, that one. We'll await confirmation of the result. We mentioned Paul Sherlicker in our comments there, supporting Ian Bamber in our next race. He's out in a Ginetta in our next race, the CNC Heads Northwest Sports and Saloon Cars, a championship where really everything goes. And to his team of Mick and Abigail as well. Thanks, Paul, for getting in touch. Ex-Stocks kart racer. I think we can head down to Pointy in Parc Ferme.
Hello, right then, wow, what a race. So, not really the finish they were hoping for, I don't think. However, red flag, back a lap. Got to make sure I don't get run over, of course, because this is the Parc Ferme. They're all pulling in way near, Callum Eason in the number 26, but we want to try and get over to Bradley Harvey. Bradley! So, not sure whether TSL's refreshed or not, but back one lap, we think you'll still get in a first place for that, young man.
First? Fourth? I'll be fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah.
It's not the screenshot I've got. Well, don't get too excited. What happened? Did you see any action out there?
Sami and Cole had a bit of a come together in the chicane.
Saw that, yeah.
We snuck through the middle of them, and then obviously Cole come back past, bit of pressure, and he went off, so...
So it all just fell apart.
Yeah, towards the end, everybody fell apart.
Division 1 wasn't much different, to be honest with you. They were like dropping bits all over the track and all
Yeah,
sorts.
there was plenty of debris about. Yeah.
What was going on? It all started so well.
Saturday afternoon carnage.
Just Saturday afternoon carnage. We've still got one race left. Do you feel like a bit of FOMO that you're not in the International Truck Prix?
No, the team would be. I put them under too much pressure. Well, I wanted to, but it'd be too much pressure to try and get out in between races.
Do you feel for Team Oliver's lot that they're having 4 trucks and 3 of them are on 2 lots of racing?
This Team Oliver's lot and Treble 3, they're all mixed in, aren't they? Yeah, plenty of pressure for them.
Hard graft. Yeah, I forgot, of course, you got Neil Yates doing both.
We've just had a bit of hard graft after the first race. My turbo fell off.
Oh dear.
So we were literally 5 minutes spare, but the team jumped together, teamwork, and we got there.
Did you find some tech screws to put that right, yeah?
Tie wraps.
Tie wraps, beautiful. There's not much you can't fix. Right, well done for finishing, I suppose.
Yeah, at least we got to the end.
Yeah. I'll go and speak to Dave Jenkins. I don't know.
That doesn't look like Dave.
That doesn't look like Dave. It doesn't, does it? No, it looks like Archie Handy. Have we lost Dave already? Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Everyone's disappearing. We've got trophies to hand out. Sammy had a bit of an issue on the chicane. Let's speak to Callum whilst we've got him. Strange to get the Division 2s in all the way to the front. How was that for you?
Yeah, good drive if we've come back in, what was that, 3rd overall?
Yeah, and in one piece, more importantly.
Yeah.
Did we lose many panels off your truck?
I don't think we lost any. We lost that part of the exhaust earlier on.
Well, you can fix that. You fix that. Is that like a turbo vent? So you sucks a bit of clean air in on the way through.
Yeah, it makes it more environmentally friendly.
That's it. That's what we're aiming for. That's what we're aiming for. Now, completely changing the subject away from racing for a minute, because I feel like this is obviously a perfect opportunity to say a little congratulations to you and your better half, because you're expecting a little racing driver in the near future.
We are, mate. Yeah, we're expecting a little boy in December, as it says on the 5th wheel just over there. It says that baby Eason crosses the line in December 2025. I thought that was a nice touch.
It is, yeah. Any ideas for names yet? Sterling, Jensen,
well,
Lewis.
We've got one that's I think we're fairly set on Mason at the minute.
Oh, I like it. Votes on Mason. You're going to get in trouble for telling us that.
But we can't do it. Yeah. With all the baby stuff going on as well, I really can't thank my sponsors enough. Tool Mania, we got QMT that have come on board for this weekend. They seem to be enjoying it, so hopefully we can expand it. Hopefully we can carry on the relationship with them. We got Green Group, WD Logistics, Emotion Wraps, TTR Vehicle, and all the championship sponsors that go with it. All screens as well.
Blimey, full family affair, and no more of a family than bringing another one soon. Well, I mean, I know it's good to get free mechanics, Callum, but making them yourself. Now, Dave, right, I did look for you, but you were wearing shorts at the time.
I was having a slow cool-down lap, yeah,
that
just
what it
composing myself, yeah, savouring the moment, composing myself.
Fantastic start. You took that very early on. You made sure of that. That was brilliant to see. Clean, and away you went. And then, at least where you were sitting, a pretty good race altogether.
Yeah, Michael really mounted a challenge early on, and then I seen it, like we were both pushing really hard. I could see the lap times were really good, and then Michael got a track limits, then I got a track limit, so I had to turn it off, and he had to turn it off, so it was a game of managing the track limits from that point forward then. But the truck was amazing, and we haven't won a race this year. I said if we haven't won by Donington, I'll be disappointed. So we've won at Donington. I've been under pressure all week this week, and to do it on a Saturday afternoon at Donington, it's just that's the one for us. That's what we try and do. And I just want to take this opportunity, without my team and my family, which are one and the same, and my amazing commercial partners, LKQ Digraph, Morris Lubricants, and freshly on board this weekend we've got ND Browns.
ND Brown.
Yeah, with Stan Robinsons and John Fowler and all the rest of the guys, that without any of that, this lot just would not happen. So absolutely chuffed to bits.
It is really fantastic to see you in that top spot at long last. Like you say, it's been a tough year, but a consistent year. Like you say, first, yes. But great results otherwise. Not the ones you want, but still, there's been a lot of people in the paddock doing a lot worse off, haven't there?
Yeah, we've been okay. We've qualified well at most of the events. Thruxton didn't quite go to plan, got caught out, and then it rained halfway through the session, but qualifying was good today. I just hats off to Michael and the way that, whether it really was his dad or whether he found some fairies to rebuild that truck between Thruxton and here and turn it out and stick it on the front row. amazing. Shows the quality of the grid and the tenacity of the people that we've got out here.
Absolutely, and it's always lovely to see that no matter which team or driver you speak to, always the first ones to mention how much work the team and the families actually put into getting these things. And I think that's to say the same for pretty much any race series out there, isn't it? That there's so much going on behind the scenes that without all of that, 100% of that, it just wouldn't happen on the track.
Absolutely. I mean, I am a team leader in our team. It does revolve around me, but every single person, like I say, my immediate family, the extended family, the volunteers, the boys, right down everybody, you know, the people that help behind the scenes. It is just one massive team effort, and we've deserved this week.